I seriously don't even know where to start, and never ever did I think I'd have to make a video like this. I just want to say how incredibly grateful I am for my platform. I've always emphasised that, and I will never ever take it for granted how many people support me, genuinely care about me. I know that so many younger girls look up to me and watch my videos, which is the greatest gift that I've ever been given. I want anyone to feel humiliated, heartbroken and completely betrayed by someone they thought they trusted. Anyone to have to sit there and question their own worth because of someone else's behaviour. And I feel like I need to say something, because quite frankly, the last few days have been the most hurtful and upsetting days I've experienced. I want to use my platform in the right way to spread awareness that not everyone you see online is actually who they are. So I've been seeing someone for the past few months, and even though we didn't publicly announce anything, it was most definitely not a secret, as it was circulating online and a lot of people were aware something was going on. Probably seen each other, like meet up a lot, I'd stay over, we'd call all the time. It was like a proper thing. I made it very, very clear from the beginning. I started talking to him that I'm not the type of girl to mess around, and if we are going to do this, I want it to be serious. I mentioned the fact that he had not long got out of a relationship and that it would take him a bit more time, but he would definitely like for me to be his girlfriend. I want to make it very clear that throughout this whole relationship, I've been literally one of the happiest I've ever been. Honestly, I was so close with him, but not only was I close with him, I was really friendly with the management, the whole team, the other boys, and so many people involved with them. Two of the times that I would see him, obviously they would be there, and I would always talk to them. The last times that I saw him was before he went on tour, and obviously I wasn't going to see him for a few weeks, so we went to Harry Styles together and stayed round, and we had spoken about that I was going to come to the London show, and that was the next time that I was going to see him. For majority of the time that he was on tour, obviously everything was absolutely fine, calling all the time, texting all the time like normal. Around a week ago, he became more distant and dry with replies, which never happened, and he was like barely answering my phone calls. I'm a bit confused, but I'm just thinking it's coming to the end of tour, he's probably tired, and I've always checked up on him and made sure he's all right, and I've always supported his career. It was leading up literally a couple days before he was coming to London to do his shows. Usually obviously we speak about the plan of when we're meeting up, and when we had spoke about that I was coming to the show, nothing else had been said since, so I wanted to know the plan. These days leading up before London, he was so dry. I would call him, he would never ever pick up. All I would get is, I don't know. When I would ask him, how are you feeling? You do realise you can talk to me about anything. He would say, yes, I know that. Nothing's going on, but I just don't know. I told him how it was making me feel upset and making me feel like he didn't care about me, to be honest. Once did he ever consider my feelings. So on Friday night, they had their first London show, and obviously it had been planned, so I assumed that I was going to the one on Saturday. I said to him, can you sort me coming to the show on Friday? Yeah, I'll let you know. I sent him messages before the show on Friday, and then after the show on Friday, I'd around 11:30 saying that he was just leaving the venue and he's going back to the hotel now, and that he's so tired and he's going to go straight to sleep. I asked him, can you call me when you're back at the hotel? He said, you good? I said, I need to speak to you. And he said, okay. After that conversation was done, I gave him time to get back to the hotel, and then I tried to call him multiple times where he declined a lot of my calls and then turned his phone fully off, that my calls were going through to unavailable. See, throughout this whole time I had a horrible gut feeling and I just knew something was up. I had previously asked if he was good when he was being distant and dry. He had said, yes, we're good, nothing's going on. So obviously I have no reason not to trust this boy. We're gonna believe what he's telling me. Getting upset when he's turned off his phone, he's not answering a single one of my calls, when he said okay to speaking to me when he got back to the hotel. Make it very clear that he has never acted like this once throughout our whole relationship, and we usually call every single night, fall asleep on call a lot of the times. Friday night, my friend had sent me a TikTok of a girl that was at the concert. She was in a box, and obviously I'd recognised quite a few people in that box who were part of the team or knew the members of the band. Thought it was a bit strange that she was in that box. Kind of made my gut feeling just like sink. Elle had also reposted the TikTok herself, which I thought was so strange. How confused I feel. He's told me he's gone to the hotel and that he's going straight to sleep. That's why I'm thinking that he's not answering my calls. And I've been having this worst gut feeling for the past few days, and it would make sense as to why he's being distant and dry with me. I go to sleep really upset, literally in tears, did not like the fact of this whole situation, and he had made me feel so upset for the past few days and not once was sorry for making me feel that way. Saturday, I wake up to a snap of him at the hotel, and on the screen it said, "So tired," and said, "Why didn't you call me last night?" And he said, "I was so tired, sorry, I went straight to sleep." I then tried to call him because obviously I wanted to speak to him about this whole situation, and he didn't answer my phone and said he was in the shower and that he was going out. Obviously I was meant to be going to the show this day and I need to know my plan to get to London, so I've been trying to get out of him all day, and he said eventually, yes, I can come to the show. Now every time we see each other we stay together, so I've asked him, am I staying over? And he said, I'm not sure, which I thought was strange because he knew that I was coming on my own and that I wasn't going to travel home late on my own, and whenever we do anything like that I always stay over. He had made up countless excuses, like he made up an excuse that he had a flight in the morning, which is why I couldn't stay over, but he literally popped up on my Instagram that they had a meet and greet in London the next day. I called him up on these and I told him that if I'm coming to the show I have to stay over because I'm not travelling home late on my own. And also, obviously, I'm really excited to see him. I haven't seen him in 3 weeks since he's been on tour. So at this point I've got ready, I've packed my bag because I need to leave to go to London to get there on time. To the show on Saturday and I'm sat in a box, and obviously I'm saying hello to everyone. I got to meet so many of you guys at this concert. I knew obviously quite a lot of the people in the box because they were to do with the team, boys in the band. So obviously I was saying hello, like it's so nice to see them all. I haven't seen them in a while. So we watched the concert, and then for anyone who's like on the guest list or been invited, there's an after party afterwards. So I go to this after party and he's acting completely normal with me, like everything is fine, how he normally would, like whenever I see him. Then I say hello obviously to the rest of the boys, the whole team, and they're all acting so normal with me, like having conversations with me, and I was so happy to see everyone. Now we're talking, there's music on, like I'm catching up with everyone. I've met them all countless times before, the security, the managers, the assistants, the photographers, like everyone. Like took me up to the dressing rooms, was showing me everything, literally acting completely normal with me. As we stayed at the after party for quite a while, the plan was to go back to his main manager's house. Head over to the manager's house and we're having such a good night with him pretty much the whole time. We was talking to everyone else, like we was just having, it was such a good night. She had a conversation with one of the assistants and she was asking me how me and her, and I was dead honest with her and I said, he's been a bit distant and dry with me, but he's acting so normal today, but I will have a conversation about it later. He was like very much aware that he was being distant and dry with me, and she was asking me questions like, where do I want this relationship to go? And basically saying that I don't need to worry. Everyone on the team thinks I'm like wifey material. She was saying like, obviously we know he really likes you, like it's obvious, and he's just stressed at the minute as to why he's being like distant and dry with me. Obviously having that conversation with her made me feel better at the time because I was like, surely that a member of your team would not lie to me. Even now looking back on it, like I feel like there should be boundaries in place with the management, and it's just unprofessional because at the end of the day it's a management and they shouldn't really be talking to you about your personal stuff. So we left the manager's house at around 2:30 in the morning and we went back to the hotel. He was obviously aware that I was going to have a conversation with him about what had been going on throughout the past few days because he was just constantly avoiding me, and I knew that I wasn't going to get it out of him unless I just asked him in person. So when it was just me and him back at the hotel, let's have a conversation about it. After constantly asking him multiple times, he just said that he wasn't ready if he could commit fully to this relationship. I want to make it clear that I've never once put pressure on this boy about this relationship, and we've always had the best time when we're together, so I'm just confused as to what's going on. And from the very beginning he did tell me that it would be me to be his girlfriend, but it would just take a little bit more time. And I was very understanding about that. But the main thing he's gone back to saying is just, I don't know, answering everything with I don't know, which is the most confusing thing for me ever. And I was like, you need to talk to me and communicate with me properly, because how the hell am I meant to go about this situation? So I asked him, like, when I leave tomorrow, are you going to speak to me normally? Like, are we going to make this work? And he was like giving me hints that it was going to be all okay. So I feel like I kind of got a bit more of a positive answer out of that conversation, so we left it. I then asked him about this girl that was at the show the night before. I asked him if she was invited by like an influencer program or something like that, and he looked me in the eye and he said, yeah, she must have been invited through something like that. And I said to him, so you're telling me that you did not invite her to the show? And he looked me dead in the eye and he said, no, I didn't invite her. I then proceeded to ask if he knew her, and he said, yeah, she's just a friend. I asked her, like, do you speak to her? Do you text her? And he said, nah, not really. So obviously I have no reason to not trust this boy, and when he's telling me this and looking me dead in the eye, it's obviously giving me a bit of reassurance. She said to him, you swear and promise that this is what happened after the show. You left the venue, you went straight to the hotel and you went to sleep because you was tired, and you slapped me when you woke up in the morning. And he looked me dead in the eye and he said, yes, that's what's happened. So obviously we've gone to sleep and I'm feeling a lot better about the whole situation. So then we wake up in the morning and he's left because he had a meet and greet to do. Obviously he gave me a kiss goodbye like normal and then continued to snap me and text me when he had left. So then a couple hours later I get ready, leave the hotel and head home. Even though he'd looked me in the eye and told me none of that was true, I still had this horrible gut feeling that I just could not get rid of. So when I got home, I added the girl who was on this TikTok from the show on Friday night, and she added me back. I was straight up with her and I asked her, and she said to me that he had stayed at her house Friday night of the show. So obviously I'm going through all these emotions. I feel absolutely heartbroken, humiliated, betrayed, and just awful. Like, I'm hysterically crying, practically having a panic attack. I had obviously stayed with him literally the night after, and he had completely lied to me and said that he stayed in the hotel the night before when in fact he was staying at her house. Not only did she tell me that she stayed at his house, but within the past few weeks this isn't the only time that they've met up. She proceeded to tell me that the whole management and the label knew that he was staying at her house, and their security dropped him to her house after the show and picked him up in the morning and dropped him back to the hotel. And he had made out to me on a snap that he was so tired and that he was slept at the hotel all night. Obviously now I know the reasons as to why he wasn't picking up any of my calls. She also said that someone at the show had mentioned me, so when he stayed at hers, she had questioned him about me. He denied that anything was going on, even though we're literally in a relationship, and she said she didn't know that he was talking to me. Well, she might have known. That's what she said on a voice note. And I'm not being funny, there was so many TikToks being made and posted about it, and she knew the fact that there was something there because we have been pictured together and it's been posted online. Then asked her for the dates and things of when they had first met up, because obviously I deserve to know and I'm trying to make sense of this whole situation. And she starts saying things like, I don't know why I need to tell you the dates of everything. It just seemed to me like she knew and she did not care. That the whole management and team knew, the label, everyone knew, and they've recently had to deal with so many problems and had to have someone take a break from this because of their actions and behaviour. When this boy gets made to take a break and the other boy is basically getting covered up by the management. Just imagine how humiliated I felt knowing that whole management team, I was literally at the manager's house and everyone knew about her and that he had stayed with her the night before, and I was the only one in the room who didn't know. That is the most horrible thing you could do to someone. It is beyond unprofessional and in no way, shape or form should be allowed. And it really hurt me about them as well, because I thought of them so highly and I got on with them all really well. I literally have evidence of this whole situation, and now it has left me impacted. I now have the worst trust issues. Cannot believe that they can act like that and think that is totally normal. You would just think for a second that the whole situation that has just got on leading one of the boys to take a break, that there would be stuff in place in no way, shape or form that they would condone this behaviour, let alone know about it and literally not care. Obviously, I confronted him about it, and all he has to say is that he's so sorry that he's hurt me and he's not denying it. But not once has he said, I'm sorry for my actions. He's only sorry for how he's hurt me now that I found out the truth. And that his intention was never to hurt me, but why on earth would you do that to someone knowing the obvious outcome was that I was going to be completely hurt by this whole situation? He has tried to call me. Quite frankly, I've had enough. I've heard what I needed to hear. It's just disgusting and so out of order. I'm obviously left though completely heartbroken. Also questioned him on Saturday night. He said that I'm the most perfect girl and genuine girl. That's all he has to say to me, is that his intention was never to hurt me and I'm the most perfect girl. Like, it doesn't make sense. I thought it was only right for me to make this video because in no way, shape or form should this be allowed. And to make people aware that these managements and people they see online are not what you think they are. And this is why I will always follow my gut feeling. And if you ever have a bad gut feeling about any situation, just follow it. Maybe can help other girls in any similar situations. And I know that people go through things like this. Just know I love you guys so much.